Sherfield, who lays it in. He's dealing with a foot injury, preseason Mountain West Player of the Year.
Great cut from the blind side, the weak side, a diagonal cut to the rim.
Offensive foul. Idlerock with a little bit of an arm bar to create the contact. Cambridge took the charge.
A slide in the feet. Good position. And you see that forearm extended. Makes it a more easy call for the official. At good position on the baseline.
Baker took steps. That's Will Baker, redshirt sophomore, the transfer from Texas. 4-0 start for Nevada. Utah State, a team that has been terrific offensively of late. They shoot close to 49% from the field, but they've come up empty on their first 4 trips. Sean Bairstow, kick to the corner, off the shot fake. Idlerock, late dish. Bean, no. Tried for his own miss, and the rebound for Trey Coleman.
Good help by Nevada, building walls, active hands, a good collapse into the basket area as well, and it's paying dividends.
I like the ball movement here from Nevada. Getting his own miss here. It's Coleman to the rack. No. Third chance for Baker, and he's fouled.
Baker, 7-footer, wisely carves out some position inside and able to draw the foul.
That's on Bairstow.
Looked like a clean block from this angle, but rewarded.
Five 5-0 for the Wolfpack. Will Baker, one of 4 players for Nevada averaging double figures. It's a little bit of a head scratcher where they're at. They're 9-13 in the season, 3-8 in Mountain West play. They can score. It's on the other end where they have their issues.
Yeah, and when you're in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, so important. You come out, you're on the road, and get off to a good start. Let your defense serve as a catalyst to create some offense, get you out in the open court, and build some confidence early.
Utah State 0 for 4 from the field, 4 turnovers, and a 5th. An argument from Brandon Horvath, but it's ruled off his fingertips. Turnover number 5 for Utah State in the opening 4 minutes.
Yeah, good post defense there. Moving the feet, fronting, not allowing easy passes into the post. And good help, both in front and from behind. And again, Nevada with a shutout.
Here's Keenan Blackshear. Off the spin move into the paint, draws contact. And it's been an outstanding defensive start for the visiting Nevada Wolfpack, who got blown out the first meeting by Utah State. Second meeting here in Logan, 5-0. 5-0 start for the Wolfpack, and a quality defensive bit of work here for Nevada to begin this game, Lab.
Yeah, alert and aggressive. The Wolfpack have been on defense, and Utah stayed a little loose at times with their ball handling, but these shots are contested. High hands, good efforts, collective rebounding by the Wolfpack as well. Good on-ball defense there, sliding the feet, taking it on the chest to force the offensive foul, get a possession. So just what Steve Alford would have wanted. Now offensively, they need to take advantage of these opportunities and execute to build a lead, because Utah State is going to make a run. They're too good offensively to not make a run.
See that last 6 games, Utah State has been one of the hottest teams in the league. Nevada has lost their last 6. 2 free throws here for Blackshear after the foul just prior to the media timeout.
And Lane Odom in that timeout addressed the troops, his team, in terms of taking a deep breath, running their sets, being strong with the ball, get some touches, exploring the inside, and launch a rocket.
There's the first basket of the game for Utah State. Idle Rock, the senior from England. Transfer from UMBC. There's a runner and a teardrop for Cambridge.
You see the foot speed, the quickness this Wolfpack team has. The personnel is there. Trying to cut down their mistakes defensively and sustain effort and concentration over the course of the game. And the things Coach Alford touched on when we spoke with him.
Bean, and he'll reverse it in. And it's interesting with a player who's that dynamic. Sometimes you force it to him. I think Ryan Odom was explaining that to us earlier today, that at times they just get stuck doing that.
You have to be careful not to force play concept basketball. And Bean will naturally get his touch, if his touches, his opportunities.
Blackshear short. He has 6 of the first 9 Nevada points. Welcome everybody, those of you watching Xavier and UConn, to Logan, Utah, home of the Utah State Aggies, one of the best environments in college basketball, but it's been a bit quiet. The enthusiasm dampened by a strong start defensively for Nevada. Utah State has won 5 of 6. As this free throw line jumper rattles off the front of the rim from Grant Sherfield. Nevada's been battling injuries of late. They've struggled, losing 6 in a row. But this Utah State team, a tournament bubble team at the moment, but they need to continue to string together wins.
Yeah, a highly skilled team at Utah State. They're 6th in the country, Alex, in assists per game, 18. So they enjoy, take pride in their passing and their cutting, looking for one another, and they're 16th in the country in field goal percentage offense.
Utah State had won 5 straight, lost in overtime to the top team in the Mountain West right now, and Wyoming. Really high quality game on Tuesday, 17 lead changes. Utah State had a chance to win it. Nearly turned over. Bean never touched the rim with his late heave. And this has been a theme to start this game. Utah State a little sloppy in their offense.
It almost looks like there's 6 players on the floor for the Nevada Wolfpack because of their activity and able to close out on shooters, but also help to the post, handling the on-ball screen action well in terms of their coverages. Alert and aggressive.
Coleman right of the lane. Couldn't finish on the layup. Here comes Utah State. Z Hamoda off the bench, the freshman, to Rylan Jones, the Utah transfer. And on the baseline, Trevin Dorius, the junior from Heber City, Utah, gets hit on his attempt.
Well, Rylan Jones there makes an impact immediately, showing those playmaking skills, the moxie, with purposeful use of the bounce, a nice little fake, and finding the big fella along the baseline.
Dorius, who's come off the bench in 24 out of 25 this year for Utah State, a team that can go pretty deep in terms of their rotation. We'll talk about it more as we go along. This team has picked up steam as the year's gone along. Started Mountain West play 2-5. But over that win streak, their average margin of victory was 21. I mean, they were blowing teams out every day. Trailing here 9-6. Step back 3, Sherfield off the mark. Aggies want to run. Rylan Jones knifing through the traffic. Nearly lost the handle. Battle for the loose ball and a foul.
Here's Jones trying to split defenders. Picks the dribble up, but the act of hands by Cambridge almost comes up with a steal, but gets whistled for a foul.
Gonna tag that to Daniel Foster. So Nevada as a team.
Didn't see a foul.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw a 50-50 ball that he came up with.
I agree.
But life on the road, get used to it.
Rylan Jones, who missed a little bit of time this year with concussion, the Utah transfer. And now Nevada has gone cold on this end. Utah State has picked up steam offensively. Wolfpack over their last 4. until that make from Desmond Cambridge. 36 points, exactly half of Nevada's points in a loss to Colorado State earlier in the week.
And he has been torching the nets over these last 3 games, coming into tonight shooting 61% from the three-point line over those 3 games.
Came up empty there. Second chance for Nevada. Trey Coleman found a little pocket, and he'll use the window.
Good gather there. Didn't rush, got his feet under him, shoots the high percentage shot off the window. Instead of going in, making it a higher degree of difficulty shot.
Well, sees parted. Z Hamoda, the freshman, regular off the bench, one of 7 international players for Utah State. 14-10.
That's why you see a highly skilled team that enjoys and takes pride in their passing, and they cut with velocity and purpose as well. So you have to be alert off the ball defensively.
Ooh, that's a miss in coverage. Cambridge left alone in the corner, and he buries the 3.
We talked about it at the outset of the broadcast. You have to have shooter awareness collectively as a team. Where is number 4? He has the hot hand coming into this game. That's on the scouting report. There's a bullseye on his chest.
So Nevada out to a 7-point lead in Logan, Utah. For those of you on FS2, switch on over to FS1. This should be a good one up in Logan. Utah State and Nevada. First half action. All right, a February tradition. February 20th, the most iconic day in all of motorsports. The Daytona 500 and the Great American Race can be seen only on Fox and the Fox Sports app, kicking off the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. A little fun with numbers here. This is the 64th meeting between Nevada and Utah State. All right, we got 500 miles coming up. 144 miles an hour is the average race winning speed in 2021. Okay. Got a little symmetry going on here. I see
creativity, ingenuity at its best, on point.
Well, I mentioned a little earlier, the last meeting was all Utah State. One of the more lopsided losses in Steve Alford's tenure with Nevada, but his team's off to a really good start. They brought it defensively to begin this game.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Both these coaches, Ryan Odom, Steve Alford, come from basketball families. Their fathers were teachers and educators and coaches. And there's a familiarity and a comfort level with coaching when you grow up in the game. And both excellent teachers.
Jones rolls it off the rim. Offensive rebound for the Aggies. They'll reset. Stephen Ashworth. You see both point guards in action at the same time for Utah State quite frequently. Hamoda regains his dribble, battles his way into the paint.
Just great defense. It's great half-court defense. Not giving an angle to the Aggies off the dribble penetration, keeping the ball in front, staying between your man and the basket, high hands and contesting shots, and then clean it up with a rebound.
Blackshear steps back behind the line, couldn't get the friendly roll. 17-10 Nevada.
Utah State going a little too quick offensively. Another example, not a bad shot. He was open, but when your team is struggling some offensively, you want to establish a rhythm. Run your sets, explore the interior through feeding the post, through dribble penetration.
Call foul here on Jones.
But Alec, just going back to that point, part of the reason Utah State is playing fast is Nevada's pressure. As we take another look.
Beg your pardon, it was Ashworth.
Those are the toughest calls in basketball. The block charge, the bang-bang, advantage, disadvantage. And in particular with this new emphasis on freedom of movement, a layer of complexity for officials. My heart goes out to them. They got a tough job.
Ooh, Will Baker had that go right through his hands. Jones baseline. Baker recovering defensively to knock it out.
Rylan Jones always exploring, probing, looking for opportunities where he can deliver dimes. Enjoys the thrill of the pass. Close to 5 assists per game. That's 6th in the Mountain West Conference. Very crafty, and he was a son of a coach. No surprise, understands the game. Basketball IQ at a high level.
Dad, Chris, coached here at Utah State for many years. And one for Horvath. Brandon Horvath coming off a season-high 20 points in that tight 2-point loss to Wyoming in overtime on Tuesday.
And a tough pass by Bairstow. I mean, somehow thread the needle. Tom Brady couldn't have done it any better. As we look towards the Super Bowl on Sunday, it's so important to make precise passes, but in tight quarters, well defended, somehow got it through.
To your point about offensive efficiency, as Horvath converts in the 3-point play, Utah State 6th in the nation at 2-point field goal makes. This is hardly the tallest team. They're not just getting simple layups, but they're able to create off the dribble. And as you said earlier, their assist numbers are off the charts.
Yes, 6th in the country, assists per game, 15th in the country in shooting percentage. It's because of the way they look for one another. There's a good feed to the post, and they cut well, whether it's clearing out for an isolation to let the big fella go to work, drawing the foul. Horvath will step to the free throw line.
Foul called on Foster. And Horvath, who spent 4 seasons at UMBC. There are some of those efficiency numbers for Utah State we're talking about. Utah State has scored 75 plus in 5 of their last 6. Ryan Odom's team, who I think knows that they still have another step or two that they can make. Talking about some of the close losses they've had this season. And they've been in virtually every game they've played. He said the one thing that's kind of missing sometimes from this team is those winning plays. And it may not be late in the game. It may be hitting the front end of a 1-and-1 with 5 minutes to go. Something like that, but just those little things. Well,
so often it comes down to one stop defensively or executing on offense, getting a good look at the basket, not turning the ball over. An empty possession can cost you a conference championship.
While Cambridge continues to shoot the ball well. He's 3 of 4, leading Nevada with 8 points now.
There's an ease or fluidity that Cambridge plays with. It's very impressive.
Bean off the mark from 3, and a foul on the Wolfpack as Bairstow got grabbed, looking for the rebound.
Cambridge with some space has been on fire of late, blistering the nets here, getting the rhythm dribble, and gets to a kill spot for the stop and pop. Bottoms. Timeout.
Logan, Utah, just tremendous campus. If you've never been, make it a point to go. Whether it's a football game, basketball game, this student section is tremendous. Great atmosphere at football games as well. Nevada on the road, though, and Desmond Cambridge, who's led them in scoring the last little while, continues his hot run.
Yeah, you can tell, just oozing with confidence, wants the ball in his hands, and is seizing the moment, carrying this Wolfpack team. And Coach Alford talked about, working some on his shot mechanics. I mean, he was an excellent player a year ago, all Mountain West Conference. But this run, there's clearly an uptick when you look at the percentage from long distance. And once you engage, make the defense play you honest, farther from the basket, now that opens up that drive, draw and kick game or the mid-range game. And again, activity and energy has been the theme here for Nevada. And that's what Coach Alford shared with us, Alex. He was very upfront and frank and honest about the displeasure of, watching his team not defend at the level necessary. The sense of urgency, the purpose. He called them defensive mistakes in terms of the mental errors, yet correctable errors. And today, tonight, they have been outstanding defensively.
They forced a turnover out of a timeout there from Utah State. Rylan Jones will hook and hold, it looks like, on KJ Himes.
Now Utah State has responded, and they are chipping away, closing on the deficit. Boy, tangled up.
Yeah.
A little wrestling. Those horns do get tied up at times, the antlers.
Himes, that time walled up by Horvath, forcing the miss.
Horvath there, fully extended, verticality in the mix. Put those arms straight up towards the rafters here at Utah State.
19-15 Nevada on the road, trying to stop a 6-game losing streak. Tie up here. What's the call? Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Nevada, so tick that off as another stop.
With the pick and roll action, Nevada has shown a crowd, 2, 3 defenders at the point of attack, and that's been effective in terms of stifling, smothering Utah State's on-ball screening action.
They have forced 9 turnovers already. Slicing to the rim there, Coleman. And this will go the other way. But 9 turnovers for Utah State, a team that averages only 12 per game. Meanwhile, foul on Himes has put the Aggies in the bonus.
There's a point-blank range bunny. Just didn't convert, and those ones that'll come back to haunt you when playing on the road. You have opportunities for high percentage looks. You've got to finish.
Sends Brandon Horvath to the line for a 1-and-1.
I like the way Horvath sets up for his free throw. Not in a rush, takes his time, gets set, and the routine is the same every time.
Staff said he was feeling a little under the weather today. There's a bit of a flu-type bug going around the team, but seems just fine for now. 7 points and a perfect 5 of 5 from the strike.
When you see the ball go through the net, you feel better about yourself. Be wise to go back to him on your next series offensively. Look for the hot hand.
Ashworth keys to Horvath. There's a 3. It's off the mark. Skying in to pull down the board is Sherfield, and he throws it away. Ooh, they're going to say it was deflected. Idle Rock may have had a piece.
I like Idle Rock's versatility. Helps this team in a number of ways.
Both he and Horvath, all conference selections at UMBC before transferring in.
Well, there's a familiarity that they have with Coach Odom in terms of his system, his style of play, expectations.
Coleman, 5 to shoot, finds his way underneath the rim. Nobody touched him.
Wow, nifty maneuvering. Tiptoeing along the baseline there.
Entry to Horvath. He draws the contact. They'll wave off the basket. And they'll shoot a 1-and-1. So Horvath again with the free throw stripe. 113 games at UMBC. One of only 2 other active players remaining from that tournament team in 2018 that became the first 16 seed to upset a 1. Arco Lamar is at UMKC. And Daniel Aiken is at Cal Baptist. Those are the only 3 remaining from that team.
Well, a magical moment in NCAA history. Unprecedented 116 upset. I like Coach Odom's temperament. Very even keel. Burns his emotional fuel in an efficient manner. And I think teams feed off their coaches' energy and personality. And so when you've got a head coach with steady stewardship and this even-keeled that helps the team as they go through tough times in the season. And they lost 4 straight games, but they've responded well, winning 5 of 6 now. And that doesn't happen unless you've got an even keel leader.
Been a bit up and down. They've had 2 winning streaks of 5 games or more. They're certainly on the upswing now, having won 5 of 6 entering today. And what is a deep Mountain West Conference. Idle Rock a 3, and Utah State has the lead for the first time tonight.
That gets the Herd off their seats, out of their seats. And that was a textbook Aggies possession. The extra pass, the hockey assist in play, good spacing now. Here's a stop defensively by the Aggies as Bean down there comes up with it.
Comes up empty on this end, though. Bean just 2 points, 1 of 6 from the field. And meanwhile, the baby hook for Henry on the turnaround goes awry. To see the shooting percentage on layups in this game.
It's partly physical, and at times both teams gone a little too fast, in a hurry, in haste, and sometimes just that one count, the equivalent of a deep breath or a comma in a sentence. But in basketball, just to gather and not be in a rush, and then you make better decisions accordingly.
Foul on the floor. Sherfield drawing the contact, the preseason player of the year in the Mountain West.
And here's that ball movement, good spacing, the hockey assist action. Jones gets involved and delivers a bullet to Idle Rock and puts it right in his wheelhouse where he can catch and take it right up. That's where you get the rotation off the middle 3 fingers and the backspin, the pronation in the wrist. Money.
One thing that Utah State does at their shoot-arounds, they play 5-on-4 every day to help players identify an extra pass. So I guess you could say that was a power play goal.
There you go. On point. You're like the Herd tonight.
Haven't had much to cheer about until recently. Nevada retakes the lead at the stripe with Sherfield.
Yeah, the 5-on-4s, continually looking for a better shot. You might have a so-so shot, a mid, not a great look.
Horvath again with an and 1 opportunity.
And Utah State finding their rhythm now, lifting Nevada's defense, and that creates the driving lane and the opportunity for Horvath to finish. Chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Now in a double figures, leading the Aggies with 11.
Well, against extended pressure offensively, you look to back screen, you can dribble drive to the basket if you have a seam or a gap. You back cut as well. Those are all effective tools against a team that's extending defensively.
The Herd there's reminding, I believe it's DeAndre Henry, of an air ball earlier in the game. This is a terrific crowd that surrounds the court here. A follow dunk wouldn't go for Cambridge. Second chance for Nevada. Henry will back it out here to Blackshear.
I like they're going to get organized.
Baker finds Blackshear, and he's double teamed. Kept his pivot foot, backed it out to Baker. 4 to shoot. Driving left of the lane, Sherfield gets the runner to go with a shot clock dwindling.
Yeah, good possession for Nevada. That was good defense by Utah State, but the counter was the extra pass and the purposeful use of the bounce.
Look out. Max Shulga. And he is shaken up. Looks like he's okay. Utah State getting back into this game. Nevada had the early advantage, but the Aggies have it all tied up. 25 apiece in Logan. Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the Mountain West, shame on you. Wyoming, a tremendous season. Boise State had that 14-game win streak. David Roddy, Colorado State. Utah State, all in the top 50 in the net. And the Mountain West as a whole, just deep, deep, deep. They have 4 tournament teams, according to Mike DeCourcy, right now. They might get another, depending on what happens in the tournament here. Utah State kind of hanging around on the bubble, need to pick up some wins. Their tournament resume looks like this right now. Their strength of schedule helps them a lot. They need to pick up 1 or 2 more quad 1 wins, you might have to figure.
Yeah, and keep in mind there's still the conference tournament, which can lead to a team crashing the party, punching their ticket by getting hot over a 3-4 day period. And it's a banner season, a historical season for the Mountain West Conference. And no surprise, you have outstanding coaches, top to bottom, programs with history and tradition, styles of play that prospects are interested in playing, and great schools and universities. You put that all together, and that's why the Mountain West Conference is having such a special year.
You mentioned historical. Wyoming is on the verge of being ranked for just the 2nd time in the last 34 years. They were just outside of the top 25 in the poll earlier this week. Well, they have been outstanding. 2 years ago, that was the worst team in the Mountain West. And now they're over 20 wins, top 30 in the net.
Well, the ability now to overhaul your roster in terms of personnel with the transfer portal. 1,800 prospects entered it a season ago. And coaches that have relationships and contacts. We saw it with Shaka Smart this year coming to Marquette, bringing 9 new players, and they're gelling and look to be a dangerous team that will make the NCAA tournament. And, we see it at Wyoming.
Yep. You and I will see Marquette Butler tomorrow. Jeff Linder doing a tremendous job at Wyoming. Ryan Odom doing a wonderful job here of late here at Utah State. 27-25 Aggies.
And his team still gets the win in overtime. How about that? That's when you got confidence in your bench, your assistant coaches to lead the way, and also your players to be able to step up and get it done.
Look out, Cambridge again.
Well, we mentioned it would be wise for the Aggies to find number 4 and stay attached. You got to know where he is, shooter awareness at all times. He's having this epic run where he feels a sense of invincibility in terms of shooting the ball from long distance. We're going to see defensively stop, turnover by the Aggies, and then there he is, Desmond Cambridge, continuing his hot ways.
Same spot he hit one just a couple of minutes ago. He had been mired in a slump until this tremendous run lately, but he has found better shot selection, Steve Alford was telling us. I mean, he was no slouch coming into the year. First team all-conference selection last season, too.
Some subtle elements in his shot mechanics with his feet being organized, and also with up top in terms of his release. And Steve Alford, let's face it, one of the great shooters in the history of college basketball. 1987, the year Indiana won the national championship under Bob Knight, was the first year that the three-point line was implemented, and it led to a national title for the Hoosiers because of Steve Alford's sharp shooting.
Rebound here for Z. Hamoda off the miss. Aggies want to leak it out in transition. Horvath couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, a bit of a lollipop pass and maybe a bit too much velocity. Led him too far. Like a quarterback in football, you want to lead him, put enough air on it to get it over the defense and into the hands, into the cradle of your receiver.
Cambridge leading the Wolfpack with 11. There he is at the top of the key. One-on-one against Ryland Jones. It's an offensive foul.
Ryland Jones showing his basketball intelligence, sliding the feet, gets to the spot, and Cambridge with that right arm extended, and Jones sells it. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I know officials don't want to see flops and trying to eliminate that part of the game, but I like the savvy. A little acting. There's Jones again.
Yeah,
nice in tight quarters.
Horvath gets the second effort to drop. He's up to 15.
When Jones came into this game, things shifted. And his ability to pass the ball, get the Aggies into their offensive sets to create off the bounce has been a big difference.
Cambridge gets the roll, and it's Been quite the duel between the two leading scorers, Horvath and Cambridge.
Jones sharing the sugar. Horvath padding the stats like Moses Malone back in the day. Why not? Picks up his own miss, puts it down.
A nice crowd as always at the Spectrum, Logan, Utah. Tied 30 apiece. Nevada with a 30-second timeout. Mentioned the top four in the Mountain West, how good they've been this season. Those are the four on the left-hand side. Mike Corsi projects in the NCAA tournament. Boise State had that 14-game win streak snapped, ran into Wyoming. Colorado State, David Roddy, top scoring team of the offense. San Diego State always brings it defensively. And Utah State, can they join them?
Well, there's time. It's all about February, momentum into March, and of course, picking up wins as you go, making a statement to the selection committee. Control your own destiny by winning games.
More people, by the way, need to stay up late and watch West Coast college basketball. Pac-12 projected with 4 teams, Mountain West with 4, West Coast Conference, WCC with 4. Usually it's Gonzaga, St. Mary's, maybe another +1, but they've been good too. Nice pass to Bean, and they're trying to get him going. Utah State up by 2.
Yeah, Rylan Jones again with the look away deception on display and delivers a dime.
Foster off the mark from 3. Aggies in transition. Jones knocks down a 3.
As we mentioned, Jones, the difference maker. Shot maker, playmaker. And his team feeding off his sense of purpose, his leadership this evening.
Fade away from 18 feet. Wouldn't go. Utah State in the final minute of the half here, smelling an opportunity to pull away. Again, it's Bean.
Sean Bairstow with an excellent pass. You got Bairstow and Jones, really interchangeable parts. 2 point guards on the floor that make excellent decisions, winning plays, and really sharing the ball with the big fellas for high percentage looks.
About a 3-second differential here as Grant Sherfield, the leading scorer for Nevada, brings the clock inside of 10 seconds left in the half. Sherfield driving, he gets grabbed. And for Jones, that is his second.
Here's Rylan Jones driving the ball, delivering the dime. Ashworth sharing the ball with Jones. Buttery touch from distance, bottoms.
I mentioned all the assists on those made field goals. 7 assists on 11 made field goals for Nevada. Sherfield converts the front end. Rylan Jones, the transfer from Utah, missed a little bit of time this year with a concussion. That allowed Stephen Ashworth to step up, and he's really seized the opportunity. He's taken Jones' spot, the starting 5 for Utah State, but it works well. They both play. Sherfield hits both. 6 seconds.
Plenty of time to get to the hoop.
Jones hands it off. Ashworth, no. And that does it for the first half. Nevada with a strong defensive effort to begin the half, but Utah State with a nice pushback, and they have a 5-point lead at the end of 1. Rob Stone and Jim Jackson in the studio after this break with the Aggies of Utah State out in front on their home floor in Logan.